welcome to all. I'm Esther Buerki, the passionate creator behind the book Living Without Fear, which has touched many lives, and the co-creator of the Amazon best-selling Inspire Journeys. If you're eager to explore a world of endless possibilities, you've come to the right place. Know someone who could use a dose of inspiration from today's episode? Feel free to share this podcast with them, and don't forget to stay updated by subscribing to my newsletter, joining me on YouTube, and if you found value in what you heard, kindly leave a brief review or rate it on your preferred podcast platform with a sprinkle of stars. Your unwavering support truly warms my heart, and I'm deeply appreciative of each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. And today, I'd love to talk once more about my mother. If you've been listening a while to my podcast, or if you have read my book, Living Without Fear, you know that my relationship with my parents is rather ambiguous, but I've been working on it for a long time. If you're new to the show, my mother let me cry at night when I was a few months old. And that's where my fear started, in my little bed in the dark of the night. My mother needed her sleep, she said. And after a while, I stopped crying, she said as well. I've spent a recent Mother's Day with her together with my father, both 89. I looked at her face. I watched her eyes expression. I couldn't recognize much or any love for herself, and of course, no love for my father and me. And this has been her whole life. She didn't get any love from her parents and her siblings, and she didn't get any help to discover self-love. She repeated the life of her ancestors. Life consisted of suffering, pain, hatred, deceptions, feelings of not being enough, and fear. Fear also that someone would destroy her small amount of happiness she gained from her sewing, gardening, or baking. And of course, it happened so many times. My father did it, my brother, and I did it. Her happiness was always built on tangible things in the outer world. And this gets easily destroyed, as you know yourself. I've been like my mother for years. My worth would be easily destroyed by other people. I was so dependent on others' opinions, on my successes in my work life as a journalist. And this didn't make my life easy. On top, I hated my mother, but I was like her. And even nowadays, during moments when I have difficulties in loving myself, I realize I feel as if I were my mother. This morning, I had this moment where I felt like her again. I was unhappy with myself because I was delaying things I wanted to have done for a few days now. But then I said to myself, Esther, you are your mother. Your mother is in you. You cannot push her out of your body and mind. She will always come back. But you can accept her the way she is. You can accept yourself even when you feel unhappy in this very moment. You don't have to dislike or even hate yourself. You can just be honest with the feelings you have right now and work with them. You can ask yourself, what can I do at the moment to feel content? Can I start doing the task I wanted to be done for a while? While talking to myself, I realized how first this unpleasant feeling towards myself started disappearing, and second, that my negative mother in me started transforming and becoming more positive. I could embrace those feelings, such as being my mother. Suddenly, I felt much lighter, and my negative feelings were gone. I felt relieved. Could you follow me? I'm sure I will go through this process again and again because this negative mother image and feelings was present for years and years. Now, it takes time and patience to replace it bit by bit, step by step. What could also help you, and what helped me certainly, was the Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian practice of reconciliation and forgiveness I did a few weeks ago. It has been at the Tony Robbins event where I was a member of the crew. Before the day starts, the crew always meets to get prepared. And a wonderful Tony Robbins trainer suggested one morning to do the Ho'oponopono together. I chose my mother and I started saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Tears started rolling down my cheeks. We repeated these sentences again and again. And suddenly I had this knowing that my mother loves me. I felt loved by her for the first time in my life. And I understood she always loved me in her way, not the way I had wished for, the way how I show love to my two sons today. No, her love was hidden and rough. But I saw and felt this love for the first time. It's healing to have such an experience, and it definitely helped me to be more patient and loving with myself, as well as with my mother. And of course, also the Ho'oponopono isn't a one-time fix. It takes time to integrate these new feelings and thoughts into our old system. A system that doesn't like too much change and always needs to be pushed a little bit. We love to stick to the familiar. That's how our brain is wired. But the more we open ourselves to change, the more we learn new stuff. And I'm confident that if you don't have a good relationship with your mother yet, you can change it. There is so much more possible than we think sometimes. A few decades ago, I would have never believed for one single second that I'm going to love my parents who had beaten and emotionally abused me. I would have never thought that I would call them every day to check in with them and to feel their pain of getting older. But today it's my new reality, and I'm so grateful for so much healing. I hope this episode on my relationship with my mother helps you to discover a new chance to change your relationship with your mother. If you want to get coached on this topic, write me an email or send me a message. I also love to hear what you've discovered. Please share your thoughts on Instagram or YouTube. Thank you so much, dear listener, for spending your precious time with me and being open to change. And I cannot repeat it enough. In case you still feel worthless and nobody seems to like you, I tell you, you're amazing, I love you, and you are a gift to everyone who crosses your path. And please remember these sentences over and over again. Have an amazing day and talk to you next week.